Hello. Hello, everybody. Hi, guys. Can't hear any of you. Can't hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Good
Hi.
morning.
Good morning. Can hear Nancy and who else? Somebody else said something. Bridget.
Good morning.
Hi.
I can't get my video going for some reason.
Oh, you want to go out and reboot and come back in?
Okay, so see you soon.
Okay. Hi, Gabby. I don't know if you're there, Gabby, yet. Maybe you've gone off for a few minutes, but I can't hear you. Anyway, we're going to give everybody a few minutes to come online. I've got my second cup of coffee here.
I'm already done. I need a third one, I think.
I just went to the shops because every morning, you know, we do the rounds to bring coffee to everybody. And I actually got two at once this time because I always finish it before I get home.
Yeah.
Drink it in the car. And then I'm like, oh no. So now it's the first time I've ever bought two coffees at once.
Okay.
Hi, Gabby.
Morning.
Good morning.
To stop my washing machine that was running, you know.
Oh, that's nice to see you. I like
How are
your
you?
little camouflage t-shirt, your little tank top.
My bush clothes.
Yeah, it's so cute. Very nice. Hello, Gail.
Hi there.
Everyone's got kind of stripy things, like animal printish sort of things this morning.
We live in Africa.
Not everybody. We've got someone here in
Yeah.
Amsterdam and someone in Denmark. Bridget, where are you? I think it's no, it's not Denmark. It's I keep forgetting Belgium. How are you, Gail?
Oh, fine, thank you. And you guys?
Good. You know that window of yours at the back blurs out your camera. You don't want to slightly close it, Gail?
Okay, let me try.
Or just slightly turn the camera maybe towards the corner. Then there won't be such a blurred. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll try. Let's see how it goes.
You look like an angel going into the light. Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, I'm finished already.
That reminds me.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's 1 hour earlier here in the Netherlands.
Oh, right. 8:30, right.
8:30. Yeah.
Plus, it's winter there,
Yeah. But it's not that cold.
isn't
It's
it?
not, no.
Okay.
But it's gray all the time. Gray.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Amanda, I'm going to try another reboot because I just can't get it going here.
Okay, love, we'll wait for you.
Thank you.
Gabby's got her coffee or tea or something hot.
Yeah. Nestle, chamomile,
Oh, really? Wow.
and mint.
Okay, very nice. So, Nancy, where are you? Are you in Amsterdam or are you outside of the city?
Outside. Yeah, everybody thinks when you live in the Netherlands, it's always Amsterdam.
I know.
Amsterdam it is. No. It's a really small place in the east center of the Netherlands. A little town, very little town, about 5,000 citizens. Yeah.
Nice. It's like when you say you live in South Africa, people think it's Africa and it's all one country. That's the one thing that they think.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that there's always definitely lions and elephants in the backyard. Yes. And then someone says, I know a person that's in somewhere in Ghana, and then they give you the name and they're like, do you know them by any chance? You know, like someone in West Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. What are we going to do when we travel in space?
Oh, I don't know, but I'd love to. I think I'm getting yeah.
Yeah, well, we will be. Yeah.
Would have when we have portals, would love to be having portals first. So when I want to go to South Africa to see the elephants,
It'll be so easy. You can train yourself. Train yourself to teleport, and you don't have to wait for the technology.
Yeah.
So Gail, that's much better.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we just wait a few minutes for Bridget, and then I'm going to give the introduction to the course, and we'll talk a little bit about what more or less to expect, and then maybe do a little piece of work together, a little demonstration.
Yeah.
See if anyone else is coming on. I don't think so. I think it'll just be us for today. So I'm going to be recording this and sharing it with other people who might be interested in the introduction. Is that all right with everybody?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Gabby?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Amanda,
All right.
sorry, I forgot to
Yes.
ask your brand. Is her hand better?
No shame. She's had trigger finger, which is the finger gets stuck like that. And then, you know, she had it's sort of like, it's not really an operation, but they inject cortisone into the tendon, then they sort of straighten it, and then they, what do you call it? Like they bandage it and splint it straight. And that's been for now a month. And then yesterday she went for a walk and fell on that finger without the splint. And now it's blue and swollen, and we don't know. So, but she's getting old. She's 91, turning 92 this year, you know, and I guess they sometimes start falling when you get older. Yes. You know, there's nothing you can do.
And things don't heal so quickly.
Yay, Bridget's there. Amazing. Okay. Good. Okay, you can turn your sound on, Bridget.
Great. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hello, fabulous, beautiful people. You all look like serious tigresses. Tigeresses riding on your tiger this morning. So welcome. I'm going to jump right in. If anyone else joins us, they can just join. I'm just going to do an introduction to this course that I'm thinking, well, not that I'm thinking of running, that I am going to be running, which is 17 days of training on family constellations and remote viewing basics. I'm not going to do as much around remote viewing as I am around the constellations, because the constellation training lends itself to remote viewing. In fact, everything that you learn about constellations teaches you how to perceive energies at a distance and how to work with the grid and the field, basically, this knowing field, this malleable quantum field that we're living in. So I want to focus on something of a foundational training, which will take a year. And it's not a qualification. but it can lead to one. So if you are interested in qualifying, it's longer. It's a longer period of time. There's some criteria that are set by the Constellations. Just have to think of the systemic sort of family constellations committee or whatever. I'll give that to you guys. But it's, when I trained, it was about 2 or 3 years of training, part-time, not all the time. And it's like sort of 6 modules of 3 days. And then you've got to do little group work, little practice sessions. You've got to have a bit of supervision. You have to be implementing it somewhere in a practice way. And then there's a bit of reading material and a bit of portfolio work and stuff like that. But we won't really be doing that in the first year. But should you want to sort of continue and go on to the more progressive modules, then there would be other people that you'd have to train under. So you know, in order to qualify as a family constellations facilitator, you have to have other trainers, for example, international trainings and stuff like that. So what I want to cover is really quite a comprehensive foundational training. And that will be, you know, an understanding of the history of what is a family constellation. What are some of the basic ideas around it? Some of the orders of love, for example, that come from the Bert Hellinger's training. And, you know, when he came out to South Africa, he trained with the Zulus, and he was here for about 17 years learning their traditional wisdom. And it's really the Sangoma tradition, which is the medicine practices of the Sangoma people. And their idea is that you can work with the ancestors in order to bring healing into the family line, to bring healing to the person. There's all sorts of applied methods, but there are quite specific sort of foundational ideas to use and train with. So I'll present the foundational ideas, but I don't want to make the training too theoretical. I want to make it experiential. You know, it's really nice to learn through doing and experiencing. And so a lot of personal development work, working on your own family tree, working on what it is that you are interested in systemically. And so each person will get a lot of time to put into their own development, their own projects, whatever it is that they are wanting to explore in the field. And it'll be, you know, a very applied, even though it's still foundational, so I'm not promising that you can come out as a trainer, we'll still be able to go in the direction that the group wants to and needs to go in. So if one person wants to do like cosmic constellations, you know, like constellate your star family, you know, and learn about teleportation and that kind of thing, then yeah, we will, you know, that's fine. We can talk about those things and talk about how it works in the field and how does it work in physics. So I'm very interested in helping people understand how to make the simple methodology apply in any direction for themselves. So yeah, have you guys got questions? And I mean, I'll just talk sort of generally about some of the ideas and stuff like that, but maybe you should just introduce yourselves and say what you might be interested in. Should we do a little round of introductions? And maybe your area of interest, because you don't know each other. Gabby, you want to start?
I'll go. Yes.
And where are you based and all of that?
Okay, I'm based in the Greater Kruger Park, close to Hoedspruit, between Palabora and Hoedspruit in South Africa. So in a big 5 area. And I kind of live on my own here with my 2 dogs. But I do have neighbors that are like about a kilometer away from here. So not totally lost in the bush. And I'm just a total beginner, in this whole area. And I must admit, I've been a little bit lazy to do work on the spiritual side. And every time I get sidetracked to do something practical, I'm a very practical person. So I like getting on and doing something and working at it. And then I kind of lose that side of meditation and yoga and just self-discipline. And so I was thinking that going through the remote viewing would possibly motivate me to do the whole meditation process. So, and I'm also interested in what I've learned from you about the family constellations. But I think my real thing that I want to achieve is to be able to do that concentrating and to focus. And I kind of always run away from it. So that's a bit of a challenge.
Yes, and then I run after you. But I obviously haven't run far enough because I have to get into my car and come and get you. It's a long drive. And I'll have to really fight off the lions on the way there. Yeah, no, it's going to be fabulous. It's very exciting material, and the course is very holistic and sort of all-encompassing. So it's a spiritual experience doing this work. And the group will guide where the energy unfolds. And there's, I was just chatting to Nancy yesterday, and we were talking about some of their interests, and Nancy can introduce herself, but there's a link to a lot of work with sound and vocal alchemy work, and, you know, learning to sing our way again, or tone. I mean, that's such a important piece of the awakening process, because we've been muzzled, you know, for like nearly 2 years now. Don't talk, you know, that kind of thing. Don't use your voice. So I think the practice of opening our voices a little bit, and sound and that kind of thing, is we're going to find our way into it in an innovative way. And hopefully with Bridget's help, we'll do a sound constellation, which I've never done before. Okay, so Gabby, fantastic. And part of the training is suggested, you know, that there is a spiritual practice happening in the background. So I give you, for example, you know, different things to do. Like I would suggest that there would be a period of sort of 20 minutes, say, of some quiet concentration exercises that help a lot with just deepening and quietening the mind, so that you can get to that quiet subconscious space where it's easier to receive information because the noise is not so big. So like part of the course requirements will be things like candle focus, you know, just quiet, sitting in front of a candle, just looking into the flame and just watching the center of the flame. And maybe, you know, your thoughts. And as you become aware of where's the quiet spot and where are the thoughts that are going past, they can become a place, like a home for perceiving. And sometimes people can use the center of the flame to look for answers in remote viewing, for example, as well. You know, if you sit very quietly and the flame becomes the central point of your focus, you can actually, your mind will use that as a place or a portal to send information to you. So there will be spiritual disciplines. And in the remote viewing side of things, they're really, Lynn Buchanan, who is like a mentor for me, his book will be part of the reading requirements. But he said that what do you call it? Not Tai Chi, but martial arts and yoga and things like that, actually embodiment. Embodiment practices where your mind and your body get to work in harmony together is a very, very important part of the training, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the conscious mind and the subconscious mind to develop a language together so that they can speak to each other, so that they can learn to understand each other's language. And so, you know, I'm not forcing it by any means, but a number of different disciplines and practices can be nice. So if you can get yourself to a Tai Chi class, even if it's an online class, I've got a very gorgeous Chinese Tai Chi teacher that does online sessions. If any of you want, you know, maybe we can have the whole group doing online Tai Chi with him. He's divine, honestly. Yeah, so those things will be integrated, and obviously it won't be like, you know, won't be, I won't have a stick, won't be a punishment if you don't do it, but it is really, really, really lovely to help quiet the mind and learn the concentration, to have those things in the background. Okay, cool, Gabby. Nancy, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Nancy, I'm from the Netherlands, not Amsterdam, so just a small town, very small town. We talked yesterday, so I popped up here. Yeah, what are my expectations? I'm not quite sure. I talked with Amanda. I'm working in healthcare. I'm also do coaching. I'm also a bit familiar with constellations. I don't know, just a part of it, of my education. I love working with energy, also Reiki master, learning more and more. Very interested in Tesla technology, sound healing, that kind of stuff. Get a good tip from Amanda yesterday. So I'm working on myself right now. It's been quite interesting traveling last 2 years. Love to do it. And I'm just see what's going on in the few months. Yeah, I've learned that it's, I'm normally making a lot of plans. I'm really a strategic kind of type, and now I feel I can't make plans. The world is in chaos, so I'm just learning now to go with the flow. And let's see what this course or what it's bringing to me. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, it's a very good compliment to coaching. I don't know if you do any projective techniques with your coaching, but
yeah, different. You know. Yeah, I do some systemic work, like constellations, also with business. Constellations. Yeah, that's
wonderful.
Yeah, in combination with my work as a manager, so it's quite nice to do. And of course, coaching always. It's a part of my management job. I think people need coaching always. And I have done an extra course of provocative coaching. I don't know if it's...
What is that?
Yeah, it's a kind of way you coach people with love and true connection, and a lot of humor. And you are really provocative people to move. So you don't run after people with your stick, but you make them go by themselves. It's with a lot of humor. It's very realistic approach. It's when you talk to someone, you always how do you call it? You just say what you know what's in people's mind. And normally you don't say it, but you will say it for the people. And it's a really funny way and very realistic and very effective. Most of my clients are done with one session or sometimes 15 minutes. because sometimes there's not a problem at all. That's a really funny way. Yeah, people make problems in their heads, and sometimes there's no problem.
Yeah, that's actually one of the skills that you learn in a constellation, is to try and find what the person is really saying, and then, you know, put it out into the field, instead of, you know, because we put so much on top of our communication that we forget to just get to the very stripped down, bare essence of what it is that we are actually saying. And when we get to that, things move much faster.
Yeah.
So that is also definitely a skill to learn as part of the work. It's all, you know, all these skills, they don't belong to any one field. They're all just, I guess, part of skills to awaken ourselves, you know.
I'm not very specific in the way I coach people. I use sometimes systemic, sometimes provocative, sometimes just a good talk, sometimes just a hug, or, you know, whatever what it needs. I'm very sensitive, so I'll just go with what I feel that's needed. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Well, I do hope that you join us. It would be lovely to have you on this journey. So nice.
I have to look at my agenda and see what's possible. So we'll talk about it.
Sure. And also, I'm going to be making the course for those people that aren't available, that want to do it. I'm just going to be making the things recorded but unlisted offline. So if someone can't make a session, for example, they'd like to catch up, then I'll just upload it onto an unlisted or private site, and then you know, in that way people can do it in their own time.
Thank you. Great.
Okay. Thanks, Nancy. So nice
You're
to
welcome.
have you in the little family. Gail, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. So how I got to know Amanda was through Connecting Consciousness by joining Simon Parks's group probably about 18 months ago, but I only got involved in the monthly meetings here in South Africa about 6 months ago. So I've been on what I call my spiritual journey for, say, 20 years. And started off by attending a workshop on intuition, and then the facilitators sat down after lunch and said, right, I'm going to channel Kutumi now. So I nearly fell off my chair, but you know, I was stuck there. And I can say that was the start of my formal spiritual journey, although I became slightly red-pilled earlier to that. And so, it started off with channeling of the Ascended Masters and moving in those sort of circles. And in the 20 years, it's been quite a spiritual adventure, going on a couple of detours, but, you know, you always learn from your experiences. So my main interests, apart from my service work, which I would put in the field of healing, you know, energy healing, starting with Reiki and those sort of modalities. I'm not into astral traveling per se, but I've got a great interest in accessing the Akashic records for information. And so after reading a whole bunch of Sylvia Browne's books, that famous psychic, I took on her term that she calls mystical travel. So while I don't astral travel, I don't have out-of-body experiences, I do, in my imagination, go and visit places like Shambhala and the Hall of Records, and now the new Golden Akasha that's available to us. And so when I heard, I think it must have been via you, Amanda, about remote viewing, and I went and read Lynn Buchanan's book, The Seventh Sense, and The Diary of Henry Sugar, and things like that. I kind of like was very intrigued and thought I could kind of marry it up with my mystical traveling and in some way be of service to humanity through that area. And so, yeah, that's why I'm on this course. I don't know too much about family constellations. I have studied psychology a bit, but most of what I've learned about Freud and people like that, I've just thrown in the bin. But it is useful to have that sort of background. And yeah, I've participated in a few of Amanda's Zoom sessions where she's done some constellations and found that I could actually tap into the field and get some sort of information. So I'd like to kind of formalize that and, learn more about it and go that route. So I'd like to start focusing now in my life on that area of being able to tap into the Akashic records and remote view at the same time. But for what benefits, I'm not sure, and to whom, I'm not sure. Okay, that's it.
Okay, gorgeous. Yeah, we'll all be mystical travelers together. A group of flying monks in female form. Yeah, so the embodiment practice with using our body as the one of the helpers, for accessing the subconscious is it's like an applied method of remote viewing or astral traveling. It's just that you are using the body to know and to sense and it actually is a brilliant receiver of information if you use the body to help you pick up information. So you can access the Akashic records and do all that sort of thing just by using your body's knowing, access to the knowing field. So all of those things can be done. And plus, other techniques. So it's just really learning various techniques that we can use to help ourselves and others, in different ways. It's becoming more and more and more applied, really. I just can't wait until we can just put our minds somewhere and just show up there, so together, instead of just through a computer screen. But this will do for now, while it's like a training wheel, Okay, Bridget.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
So, I'm kind of a neighbor from Nancy's. I live in Belgium. So my background is, well, the first, I think I have been into this all my life in a way. As a child, I went on the land with the farmer. I spent all my holidays at the farm. And I was very sensitive to the life and the movement of Earth and its cycles and the animals. And I had this this interaction with animals that I found out was rather special. Not that I can talk to them or understand what they say, but there is this natural flow between us. And so I grew up, and yeah, life happens, of course. And then when I was about, I don't know, 30 years old, it was in the early 90s, I started with Reiki. I did the whole thing, so I'm a Reiki master too. And then I got into aura healing, but I only did the self healing, so the part where you work on the self. But sometimes when I'm working with people, it shows up, and then I do something with it, but I don't decide to go into it. It's just when things come up, I work with it. and for the rest I leave it, because it's kind of very narrow line where you just follow spirit and where you start doing things. And that's where I just trust the guide that now it's time to do something. They tell me, I don't go looking for it. I have been singing all my life, and then yeah, I started making my own drums, my own flutes, and I
Mm.
used my voice to start, well, I don't know, exploring my own body in a way. And my mother, she knew a sound shaman, and I saw him a couple of times, and some things that he said were just so um, guidelines for me that I really, really worked with them, exploring my voice, exploring my body. And I found out that when I sing, sometimes with people, things shift and things change, and they told me so. So I just kept going in that sound, especially the voice. And lately, I have had a magazine too that was about natural health, but mostly with food and orthomolecular medicine, where you use things that are familiar to the physical body to heal the body, where you don't go into chemicals. But that's another story. I stopped there, but it brought me in contact with a lot of very, very, very interesting people. So it brought me into contact with the family constellations, and I have done a workshop with Franz Rupert. He's a German or an Austrian, I think, a German trauma constellation specialist, and I have done constellations with a lot of people just as a representative or for a constellation for my own questions. So I am familiar with how the energies flow and work in there. And then I found out with the last course, Pansori Living Sound. So that's a 4-year course in healing with the voice, with singing, that when I sing for people, those family constellation lines sometimes just come into view. And for myself, but also for people I sing for. So when singing for something that I was experiencing in myself that was blocking me, I ended up singing for my ancestors and for family lines in my own lineage. And I sometimes sing to release a kind of how do you say that in English? An entanglement between parents, a father and a mother, and my client, where they really get almost into the person, and you when you can just sing into that, and you can put that person back in the background. It's not a doing, I say put and things like that, but it's not a doing. It's a sound that comes up. You it's rewind. It's actually about the deep listening. And I think, Amanda, that is what you are talking about too. A very deep listening where you are just present to receive information. For me, it is sound. So I am quiet, I receive the sound, and I sing the sound. And when the sound leaves my mouth, the sound becomes a spirit, an entity in itself that works the field, and I have to trust that. So with the sound, things kind of get clearer and can start to move, and a disentanglement can occur. It's more like that. So, and we have seen that too when we were working with conception, that we were there and we were doing it in the body, but I could just see how, for instance, there was a huge constellation of the soul and the egg, and the egg coming together, sometimes in the beginning before the egg enters the, well, whatever. No, well, I don't know in English. So, and then how also the tube itself can be represented, has a certain presence and a certain tension, and yeah, and then there is the womb where the egg just nestles, and the mother, and it's a whole constellation, and there is a whole interaction between all those elements where the egg just kind of is ripe and travels to the womb, and where there is the conception. It is such an amazing field to explore. It's so huge, and we have been working with constellations with our inner organs, and with the glands, where the connections between the glands were explored by the constellation of the glands themselves, and how they interact with each other, and where things kind of go wrong, or where there is tension, so that yeah, it's and I'm just so curious. Well, I'm really very enthusiastic, so I keep talking and talking, but I am so curious to explore more about this, because for me it's more about feeling and singing, and but sometimes it's also very interesting to really receive information, and I want to go more into the receiving of the information, like with for my own family lines. And there is also a very strong longing to open up something that was closed down from the very beginning. And it is something that I already experienced when I was 2 years old on my grandfather's lap, that some experiences came up. And as a small child, I felt this is not allowed, and everything just shut down. And I've had that a few times in my life with very with experiences of going out into space, and I just fell into my body and everything shut down again, and I can't get through that. So what is there, and how can I open that up? And it must be even more, it must be larger, and it must be so much more magnificent that I right now already know and experience. So to go there, to really go there. And that is my longing. So thank you.
Beautiful, so beautifully said. Captured so many things, I think, of essences of what we all feel a longing for. Yeah, so the multidimensionality of what we can do. I mean, I found myself feeling really also just the excitement again of the field. I am completely passionate about this work because I have this over the years, I've been doing this for 20 years. I have an understanding of how we are living in this fabric of consciousness, and it can be completely molded and formed, as we pay attention to it, or give it energy, or perceive it, look at it, be with it, whatever it is that we do with this beautiful fabric, the ground of our being. We are able to be malleable with this field, and we can use any method that we have. So sound into shape, into existence, is an incredible way to be with the field. And I think for those people that know how to use their voice to shape things, that's a beautiful thing. And it reminds me a bit of the sort of like ancient technologies, like sort of Lemurian times or something like that we're coming back to. It feels like we're coming back to these these times of where all these consciousness-based technologies are being recoded into us. That's what it feels like. So I also do a lot of work with the souls and incarnation. I was speaking about that yesterday with Nancy and Mike, that it's wonderful to be able to help souls incarnate, or help mums incarnate souls that have the right resonance to them, and have, you know, that they can be brought in through a conscious channel, and there can be communication always through the conception and birthing process. And how beautiful to, you know, begin to have this musical conscious conception. I mean, these must all be the new earth ideas that we're coming into again. And of course there's cymatics, which is the shape of sound, and we have to become aware of how it is that our words and our tones and our voices and our intentions are shaping the environment around us all the time. So yeah, Bridget, beautiful work, and I'm sure you'll help us bring in another dimension into our training. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be amazing.
I hope it will be possible to be really live with you all, because I have other courses running, like with the Celtic Amrun and Wild Hunt, where I study the Celtic medicine wheel, and I am going for the training to sing for the souls to go to the next realms. Now I'm doing that already, but I would like to put it into that context and deepen the practice. So yeah, I really hope we can be live for.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, even if we set an intention to, you know, connect with you along your journey, and make a day where you are available, kind of thing, for the training, because we want to do a specific piece that's linked to what you're busy with, so that we can all come together as a group, then we'll do that. You know, we'll make the synchronicities work together. And if you are doing a piece of work and we're doing a piece of work, but we're not together necessarily physically in person, I'm sure there'll be an energetic link.
Yeah.
And there'll be ways for you to just fill us in about what you're doing, maybe leave a little sound journal or something like that inside the group, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
You can, yeah. So it's a weave. We will definitely weave our way together. It does feel like it's, you know, like we're coming together with an intention. This group will have a specific intention to build something together. What else was I going to say about that? Has anybody got anything they would like to comment on, or any questions so far, sharing?
No, just that I can feel that this is already a living body.
Gabby?
Amanda,
Yes.
on the remote viewing, I was watching a few things from Dr. Greer. Have you got any, I don't know, input on his work?
No.
I can't say, you know, I don't know whether he's for real, or he's done a lot of publicity, and he's doing a lot of work and written a lot of books, and then he does these remote viewing trainings. But I was just wondering if you had any background to him. No. Okay.
No, sorry. Does anyone else want to comment on Dr. Greer? It's not, no. Just want to see if there's anything else. You know, I've got so many little video clips where I go into sort of the exact details of what is a constellation and stuff like that, that I don't want to do too much of that today. I don't want to go into too many of the basics, because I think everybody has got some basics. And when we start together, we will put out the foundational training basics again. I can send some videos if anyone wants, of me explaining sort of the background and stuff like that before we actually start the course. But I think I'd like to use our time today. Are there any other technical questions about the way that the course is going to run? I want to have everybody join in a Telegram group where there can be communications, like Zoom times and links that somebody might have missed, or somebody wants to share something that's relevant to what's come up. That is a private group, and I'll make that when we're ready. I was thinking originally to have it be part of the course that I ran last year, because there's a lot of resources in there. But it might be better to have that as a backup group if anyone wants to join in, say for a particular constellation, but then have our own private training group that is closed, that is only for the participants. And then we can easily track that. So that will be on Telegram and Zoom. Those will be our two main things. And then on my website, I will probably have a page with links, so that I know what's been covered and people can look on that page to see where we are at in terms of training and stuff like that. Are there any other questions that you think I probably haven't touched on?
It's the dates. Yeah, I was wondering.
Dates, yes.
Because each time it's 2 days, isn't it?
Not necessarily. So the course needs to breathe, and it needs to have its own synergy. So what I have found is that it's almost like we will find our rhythm. So I've set 3 months worth of dates: the end of February, the end of March, and 1 day in April, which is Easter. And after that, I'd like to see where we are. It might be too much for people to do 2 days a month. It might just need to be 1 day a month, and that the rest is personal practice or application or homework or whatever. So maybe when we get to April, we will see how we're doing. Are there any requests, Gabby, that you have?
No, I also find it difficult to do 2 days in a row.
Okay.
If it's full days,
Yeah.
But since it's once a month, you just plan it. I can plan it. I just find it's a lot.
Yeah, because you've got to also attend to your farm as well.
Yeah, and there's always things that need to be done. But it's not, once a month I can do it. It's not impossible.
Yeah, it's quite nice at the beginning to just get going, get to know each other, get some constellations done. And then, then once the first 3 months have taken place, we'll be able to know what the next quarter looks like and how the energy is going to unfold for all of us.
Okay, that would be great, because usually I have my activities in the weekends.
Okay.
So yeah, it would be really interesting to have some kind of idea which dates I need to safeguard.
Okay, so do any of you have requests as to specific dates that are better for you, or timings or structures? Because we can work with that still.
Now, if it's only 1 day in February, is it full days or
two full days? Yeah, 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm in France doing sound work in February. The other months I can still arrange, because I have things in my schedule, but I haven't published them yet, so I can still make shifts there. Just the weekend of the 23rd and 24th of April are absolutely not possible.
Okay, so it's the last weekend of February and the last weekend of March, and just 1 day in April, which is the 17th. That's Easter. I know not everyone will be able to do it.
Yeah, I can skip the joy fire if necessary. Yeah, I can do that. Okay.
So are there any other, I know other people who will be coming on will have requests, but in terms of structure, is any feedback as to what would work?
Yeah, for me, it's also 2 days in weekend is a lot for me. I work all week, and the weekends I do all the other stuff, and I have a lot of meetings. So I will check what's possible for me to reschedule. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
yeah, sorry.
For the first 2 months, yeah, I'd like to just get that going. Even if you can't manage it, you can I'll record the pieces of work.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you can watch it at a time that is convenient, that's fine. If something is a process piece of work, I'll just mark it as a process work. And, you know, you don't have to necessarily be a part of the process if you aren't in it. So let's see how it goes. I want to just go with the 2-3 dates that I've set so far, and then I'll feel for what it's like for everybody. I can feel that it would probably be better to have a 1 day a month, yeah, with other pieces of work in between, you know, that people can manage and do in their own time. But
Amanda, the date in April. When's the date in April?
The 17th of April.
Yeah, the dates on your website, Amanda, or where do I find them?
Oh yes, it is on my website.
Okay.
There's a blog, the latest blog, and there should be a page there as well. That and okay, I'll send you guys the link for those dates. Okay. Anything else that you think should be said or?
Amanda, in the program that you were describing towards the end, there was something more about how to manage the process as a coach. I think is somehow the idea I got. I don't know if that's now true. I was a bit confused. Were you planning to do anything towards the end that would be more focused for a professional doing family constellations?
Yeah, so you will be starting to practice a little bit on your own at the end of those 17 days. So there'll be a point at which I would want to see that how are you implementing this? How, you know, I'd want to watch your thinking around it. So you would practice something and I would supervise you. And there would be exercises.
But what I'm like saying is that my intention is not to become a coach, or it's really for my own.
That's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's just as beneficial to be able to articulate your thinking and sort of work with something outside of yourself, you know, as a practice, whether you want to become a facilitator or not, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? So, okay, let's do a little piece of work. Cheers. Let's look at what's in the field. So family constellations, you know, is a funny word, because when people say family constellations, people are like, is that about the stars? Like, how did that, you know, is that word come about? And that's interesting. I think like maybe Bert Hellinger, who was kind of the founder of the methodology, he probably thought, you know, when you look at a family system in the field and you look at how they naturally arrange themselves, it might look like a group of stars, you know, so there's different shapes according to people's directions and loyalties and clusters and this and that. So maybe that's where constellations came from. It's like, you know, people gather in their family tribes in sort of clusters like stars in a way. But yeah, it's not always, it doesn't always help people's thinking about what it actually is, a family constellation. So we've got a field, an open space. And does anybody have anything that they might want to work with or put forward into the space today? It's not necessarily that we will do that work, but if you had to just name something that you'd like to perhaps look at or explore or see what's going on inside of, what would the themes be that you guys might put forward? And they can be anything, it can be personal or non-personal. Anything that's on your hearts that you might want to investigate into a little bit. And we'll just do a small sort of piece of work around it.
Yeah, I've got something. Yeah.
Okay, you can put it forward.
It has to do with the closing of those doors, because I feel that there is a door closed for me to step out into the world and really put down my own practice. And I have a feeling that this is connected with what I said very early in my life, that I already felt that this is not allowed, let's close the door. This is not allowed, let's close the door. So how to step into this openness and start doing, really open up.
Okay, so I'm just putting that as an offer into space. Yes. And let's see what else there is. Let's see if anybody else has got anything. Gail?
Amanda,
Yes,
sorry,
Gabby?
I switched off my video because the connection's really bad. So it was going down and up and down. So that's why I switched it off.
Okay, do you want to say something?
I've got more, like right now, like more things that are sort of came to my attention, which is more like scientific or more like what's going on in with the satellites. I was reading now that they've got these nano satellites, and I'm trying to figure out, you know, we're always worried about what's going on Earth and how we're being influenced by different radio waves and 5Gs and other things. And I'm wondering, how are they doing this from space, and how do we know what they're doing?
Okay, interesting. All
and
right.
These nano satellites, what are they going to do? They're apparently not going to stay alive for long, but it's just like very interesting to see, because we don't know what's happening up there and how that is going to influence us. And it kind of an interesting thought that we're being, you know, controlled from there, or we have this, there must be impact from those satellites for sure.
Okay, all right. So I'm just listening to everybody, seeing what is there to be looked at. Not necessarily going to promise that we do it today, but just want to hear from everybody.
Well, my current interest is sort of similar or allied to Gabby's, in that I'd like to know what star nations are out there in Earth's orbit wanting to communicate with us, what beings are actually out there. And there seems to be a bit of controversy going on right now about whether the Ashtar Command actually do communicate with people on Earth or not. So, you know, I'd like to have answers to things like that.
Okay, I'm just writing it all down. Gabby and Gail and Nancy, is there anything that you have a query about, or an investigation?
Listening to the others and just feel and heard Gail and Gabby about the galactic satellites, friends, Ashtar, whatever. But that's what I'm feeling too. There's for me personally, I feel there's something trying to connect. There's something with me now going on. I just don't know what it is, but I feel a big pull, and strange energy, and there's something going on with the energy of Earth and the galactic. So yeah, and that's have influence on me. So I feel now, for me personally, I have to do something. I don't know what. I don't know. But there's something pulling. There's something asking me to do. So that's why I first said I just try to feel the flow, and then I hopefully make the right choices. So it's kind of personal and kind of what I feel right now, the energy on this world. There's something coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting everything down on a piece of paper, and I'm just kind of like breathing in a way into the field. So just energetically looking at it or feeling it in a way. I'm kind of just feeling it, the group in my body. And over time, depending on your experience and your methodologies that you use, you know, there's certain questions that you have to ask yourself. So the one is, you know, to learn discernment, what would be appropriate to do on a public platform? What do we have time for? What is safe to do? There's all these different questions. So every small piece of facilitation takes, you know, a little bit of alchemy, a little bit of sorting, you could say, and discernment. So I'm, in a way, I'm sort of just sitting with it, just looking at it in my inner gaze, and sort of waiting in a way for a bit of a movement of the field. It kind of presents itself. And these are mysterious words to put to a field that is intelligent, that is going to be, that's like mixing our energies together, including the people that are going to be listening to this video. And I'm seeing, it's like big pot, you know, stirring, like putting all the energies together and seeing, wow, well, what would be the thing that most serves this group, but on this particular video? So I'm just sitting with it for a few minutes. Sometimes there's no need to do anything other than just wait, sit quietly in silence, you know, and just be. So I'm just going to be with it a little bit, and we all can. You can just like relax a little bit into it and take a few breaths. Just going to take a few moments just to see what impulses arise, or what visuals come to mind. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to work just a little bit with Nancy's question. And to try and explain the technology of what it is that we're doing, it's almost like dowsing. So it's like sifting through a field to see, like you shake that sand or whatever, just to see what settles and what emerges. And with constellations, because there's so many layers to a question. You don't have to do everything at once. You just can do a little bit at a time, a small piece of inquiry that can peel back maybe one layer and lead to the next level of inquiry or knowing. And especially at the moment, because we are in such a huge new energetic, and sometimes we don't know what is behind it. We don't know necessarily, we don't want to just go rushing into something that we don't know. There's been, not necessarily all the nicest energies out there. So we have to be mindful around protection with all of our work, with any kind of embodied inquiry at the moment. Just to be very, very mindful, just do things in small pieces, similar to what happens when you work with trauma. So with trauma work, in order to allow the field to move, you build resources. You don't look directly at the trauma, but you focus on getting the groundwork strong, the foundations and the resources strong. So that's kind of what's coming to mind at the moment. Nancy, I don't know if that has any meaning to you.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I believe this is a journey. This is a start of, for me, a new beginning. Feels like a new beginning. So, and a good one. But for me, it's very cloudy, and I'm not sure where to start. There's so much energies, and what you are saying, there's many kind of energies, and not always good ones. So I need to focus to get the right ones and make it small steps.
Yeah, so what I am feeling into with you is like, it's your foundation is strong. It's pretty strong. You've got quite a strong foundation, and you've got a lot of resources. Is that correct? That is
that's
right.
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Let's do a small piece of work around that. So what I'm going to get you to do is choose someone in the space here to represent you, and choose someone in the space to represent what you are being asked to do.
Okay, Bridget, will you be the representative? Okay, and Gail? What was the other?
So one is you, and one is what you are being asked to do. So who's representing the thing that you're being asked to do?
Gail.
Gail is. Okay. And Bridget is you.
Yes.
Okay. So we're just going to symbolically put our hands up like this, because we can't actually touch each other's shoulders. So you are going to, Nancy, imagine that you're just putting your hand on their shoulders, Gail's shoulders, and just say, okay, Gail, you are representing the thing that I'm being asked to do. So you just enroll her. You say those words out loud.
Oh, I'm sorry. What do I have to say?
Just say, Gail, you are, I'm enrolling you as me.
Okay.
That's Bridget.
That's me, yes.
Bridget is me.
Oh, Bridget is
you. So
okay. Bridget, so you
Bridget, please will you enrolling me?
You are me.
You are me.
Okay. All right. Good. And then Gail, you can put your hands on Gail's shoulders symbolically and just say, you are representing the thing that I'm being asked to do.
Gail, you are presenting me the things that are, sorry, again.
The
Amanda,
thing that I'm being asked to do.
the thing that I'm being asked to do.
So,
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so now we just wait for a minute as the field arrives for the two of them. So for the rest of us, we just take a few breaths. Just relax and breathe. So we're opening up the space. So for the two of you that have been enrolled, I want you to open your eyes. And what I want you to do is imagine that you are in a room together, okay? In the same room. And just notice where you would be in relationship to each other. Like, would you be facing each other? Would you be together, far apart? Would one be in the corner? How would you imagine standing in relationship to each other? The directions and proximity is very important in constellations because it has a meaning. So you're just using your intuition to feel, where does this aspect of Nancy, where does it feel like it is? I think my screen has gone frozen. Now I'm probably going to get kicked out.
we must go first.
Sorry, guys, I got a bit frozen there for a second. I just want to say, technically, if anything happens and I get bounced out for a minute, just wait for me to come back, okay? If you don't mind. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes the technology is like not frequency specific or compatible with the work. It's like, where are we going? Okay, so what happened there? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
I was saying who must go first?
Oh, you go first. Gail, where do you feel yourself in relationship to Nancy in the room? Like, how do you see yourself standing?
Yeah, I see myself standing, I don't know, about 5 or 6 feet away from Nancy, facing each other, and she's standing there with an open heart. And it's like our 7 chakras are connecting. So there's like a communication established.
Okay. Can you actually stand up?
Myself now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you actually stand
sure.
up in the room and just, I know you're attached to your computer.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going to have to all do like those little earplugs that you can move around in the space with for our course. That's maybe another technical recommendation. So just imagine that you're seeing her in front of you.
Okay.
Okay. And for you, Bridget, how is the relationship looking?
At first I was standing in that corner and I was looking at what I am asked to do. So I was looking at Gail, and there was some pressure on my chest, and it all opened up when she said, we are connected. So yeah, we are connected. I see you, and that is what I want to do.
So can you also stand up if possible and just face each other?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, and just tip up your computer a little bit so we can see your face.
Trying. This is not so easy.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Maybe we should all get GoPros. This training. Okay. So the two of you are basically facing each other, is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, and are you looking into each other's eyes, or what are you looking at?
Yes.
So I'm just breathing and just feeling the energies in the field. Interesting that what you are meant to be doing is in South Africa and the U is in the north, and what you're meant to be doing is in Africa. That in itself kind of stands out to me.
Yeah.
Just as a very, very simple piece, you know. Okay, as the two of you sort of look at each other energetically, and there's this meeting, what else can you report about the energies between the two of you? What else is coming to mind? Any other thoughts, pictures, sensations?
There is something like a circular pressure in my back.
Okay.
Between my shoulder blades.
Can you describe it a bit more? Like size, shape, color, weight, texture.
Size would be like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable.
Is it like a tracking device? Is it like somebody like trying to watch her? Kind of a feeling?
It feels like a contradiction, like a pushing and a pulling at the same time.
At the back.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel a tracking, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else that's there that you can?
There is a presence.
A being.
No idea who or what.
Okay, you just let it be there for now. Pushing and pulling, we'll just acknowledge it. How are you doing, Nancy, as you look at this? What's coming up for you? Thoughts?
It's just spot on, I think. It feels unbelievable. This is, yeah.
What did you say, Nancy? I couldn't hear you.
It's spot on. What you're feeling describes what I'm feeling.
So tell us a little bit about just tell us what's spot on for you.
What Bridget just mentioned about, I don't know if it really is a presence, but it's push and pulling me. There's something pushing, pulling me, and it's making me not uncertain, because I know I'm strong in my field. I know I'm okay, I'm grounded, I have a lot of good stuff to work with it, and I can trust myself. But it makes me a little bit uncertain because I feel the push and pulling. So somebody or something is trying to make me uncertain, and it has to do with what I have to do here on Earth. And it feels for me there's something is telling me, but it feels like a good one and a bad one. So what Bridging is sensing is, I think, spot on. Feels like a two thing, but she sends Gail, and Bridget feels good connected, a strong connection. So that's, I think, okay, that's great. But what's going on in my back?
Yeah. So
what's going on? Yeah.
So we will just we're not going to jump there. I want to just see what else is available in the field first. What else is happening for you, Gail, as you are the thing that Nancy's being asked to do? What's coming up for you?
For me, there's a very strong heart connection, but I interpret this pushing and pulling as like an attunement process, where this being is trying to attune with you on all levels and all chakras. And this being is like a messenger. It's not the being that you need to connect with. I just get a message, beautiful daughter of the stars. Yes, kind of rise up and connect with your star family. And so it's kind of over to Bridget to accept the invitation or not, and at her own leisure and her own pace and energy. But that she would be able to find out who this being is. Kind of like a guardian or a ascended master sponsor for whatever your work is going to be.
Yeah, I also feel that the information is going to be available to you as you begin to inquire into it. But how it was quite emotional, that message.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, very emotional, very emotional. Yeah. I could feel I wanted to cry as well, really like spoke straight into your soul.
Yeah. Just felt it right through the screen, the feels. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So, enjoying it, so no problem, but
yeah, so it's a very it's a deep connection to home. So
yeah,
Bridget, how would it be for you? Do you feel like you have enough resources, Bridget, to enter into that field of what is behind?
I already moved into that while Gail was talking.
Okay.
Not completely, but the opening was there, and I did move. I could feel the pressure kind of opening up and dissolving for the biggest part, and I felt myself rising and becoming tall with my head in the stars. Right, very tall, very tall.
Yeah, you look like you're actually in a ship. in a ship right now. Like, hello,
Yeah.
up there. So who, can you tell us a bit about who you are or what you are, that presence? Can you talk to us about you, that the one that is behind?
The one that is behind me.
Nancy's back.
It's family. It's family. Who can just see me in my completeness, the way I can't see myself yet. I can see it in multidimensional and energetic ways, but it's very difficult to describe.
What's happening for you, Nancy?
Tuning in on Bridget, try to feel.
What I want to, yeah, you can say, yeah.
Yeah, you first. I'm trying
I wanted to ask you about your mum and dad in terms of their spirituality or pathway connections. Was it open for you as a child?
Sorry, was it?
You're open, through your mum and dad, was spirituality, the path of spirituality, was it open for you?
No. I was, as a child for myself, I was very, very sensitive and very spiritual or open, but my parents are not. My mother is more, I think much more than she recognized and participated in it, but my father isn't. So, yeah.
Okay. Bridget, do you want to step back one more step into that ship or into that space and just see who else is there that might want to speak? And Gail, if there's anything else coming up for you, you can also speak about it.
There is again someone in my back with pressure, someone further back in the line.
Okay, so I'm gonna let Gail go into that position. So Gail, if you can just in that chair where you were sitting, you just leave your role there in that chair. Okay. So the role that you're holding, you put it onto the chair, and that role is what am I being asked to do? Okay, you leave it there in the chair. Okay, and I'm going to give you a new role. Okay. You are going to just be in that lineage, in Nancy's lineage. You're going to occupy that pressure that's coming from behind. So Bridget's there and you are behind in that line. And we're going to just see what we can do to bring some of, Gabby, I'm just going to leave you to be the witness for now. I just want to let these two just feel that lineage. And let's just see what more we can decode of the pressure of what the message is. What is the pressure to do?
What comes up for me is that it's not too far back in Nancy's lineage. It's like a male grandparent. So yeah, a grandfather who had a strong connection. I can't think of any other better word than to the occult. But was not able to kind of fulfill what he wanted to do. And so he wants Nancy to kind of fulfill that role of connection with, I can only say the beings out there. I'm not getting a word for who.
Okay, doesn't matter for now. Just get what we can. Did you say a grandfather?
Yeah.
Have you got
Could
any
be great grandfather, but not too far back in her lineage.
Okay. Do you know who this might be, Nancy?
No.
Do you know anything about your lineage a couple of generations back? Like,
No, not much. It's
No.
quite complicated family system. So I met my biological father, but his father died at quite a young age, so never met him.
Could be.
on that side,
Oh.
it could be maybe.
It feels like that.
Feels like it, yes.
Yeah. It's not from my mother's side. I don't
So
feel
did
it that way.
so you know your biological dad, but does that
Yeah.
mean you didn't know him at the beginning?
Yes, that's correct. I met him when I was 16 years old.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then, okay, so this could be that lineage. There's a message coming from the biological father's lineage. Gail, does it feel like, is it like a benevolent pressure? Because at the beginning it was like, it feels like there's two forces or something. That one is like they're vying for priority.
Yeah, but I also get that, but it is still benevolent, desperately wants Nancy to fulfill what didn't take place.
And you don't know what that was. So when would that have been? 50s or 30s? When would he have been? The great grandfather. Would that have been the 30s?
I don't know.
That's all right. That's fine. It doesn't have to be, we just, you know, sometimes as you ask questions into the field, especially if it's like you don't know, then as the questions get asked, it bubbles and it turns.
Yeah.
And sort of, it's almost like a deep dive, you know, slowly as the answers bubble up slowly over time from deep within the ocean of the subconscious. Bridget, what else is coming up for you? Feels like there's a lot of people in the background there. It's like there's a number of generations and it goes sideways like this. These are your ancestors. Maybe Star Nation, I don't know.
It's physically very uncomfortable here in this position. So when I was standing in Nancy's presence as Nancy, I could feel this star being this energy, but being in that position, it is more the physical uncomfortable feeling. It's mostly the right side of my body that feels like doubling up. It's like, oh, really not a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's hard for me to relate to that grandfather and great grandfather story. It kind of, I don't feel connection with that.
Mm-hmm. Can you step back a little bit further and just see what else is there? Just explore that field around in the background, some of the ancestral fields, left and right. Just sort of feel for where there might be an important message or another ancestor that needs to speak for today. Nothing has to be perfect. We don't have to have anything particularly flowing. We're just kind of checking in different places into the field for now. Tell me about your ancestral background a little bit, Nancy, like culturally, your cultural background, just a little bit. Like, has everybody been from Holland, or tell me lineage?
Yeah, all Netherlands, so all Holland people. My mother gave birth at me when she was 18. Never met my biological father until I was about 16 years old. Grew up with my mother and a father, which was not my biological one. But I don't know more about my family. I know the family of my mother's side, they're all Dutch people. Nothing really strange or special. And my father, also Dutch people, is his father, so my grandfather died quite young because of illness. Never heard about something special, something strange about families. So I'm not sure if that's, but I think it has to do something with my ancestors. But I think it feels more way back.
I'm getting that it's great grandfather, not grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And before 1900.
Yeah, about 1890. That's
yeah, somewhere.
I get a number. I don't know why.
Yes,
1890. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit more about him, if you can, Gail. What else do you feel about him? Like, what was his mission, maybe? What was he hoping for? Just say, I want you to just say to Nancy, just look at her and just say, I am your great-grandfather. Just connect with each other.
With Bridget or Nancy?
No, to Nancy, because Bridget, we've got doing the deep ancestral field right now. So
okay.
To actual Nancy, just say, I am your great-grandfather.
Nancy, I am your great-grandfather. And I had a connection with the Great White Brotherhood. And I was on a star mission to Earth in my lifetime. And I just wanted that tradition, that's I can't think of the word, that work to be continued in my children and grandchildren, because it was a very important aspect of my life and I wanted it continued. And you have that ability to kind of operate in that field of humanity working together with the Star Nations for their upliftment and ascension, you would call it in your terminology today. I just want to see the work continued.
What's happening, Nancy?
Yeah. When she started talking, and Gabby told me, I am your great-great-grandfather, I felt goosebumps. Is that the correct word? Just felt it. Just my hair all popping up.
Me too.
Yeah, you too.
Me
Yeah,
as well. All of us.
I just felt like it's oh wow. So I am glad. I'm really happy. It's kind of strange in me because I know this is true. I know I have a mission here on Earth, but I'm still not able to do it. So I am looking for the answers, looking for help to do that. I feel so much pressure now to come out to do the job. And I think, what job? But I know it's in my family. I know it. So it makes me a little bit uncertain because I'm also feeling, and I see Bridget, I see her and I feel her, she's overwhelmed with, so what's that? Right? Just something or something pulling me out of that mission. So yeah, it's amazing this. Yeah. Wow.
So I don't know about the rest of you, but I feel like in a way you are in the middle of you are right in the middle of your mission, including even just doing this work, which is connecting with your own genetic line that is aligned to you, and that maybe will be part of what you take forward with you as, you know, that as part of your practice. Yeah, it's like a remembering. And I keep thinking, even though it might not be this life, but like a Dakota Indian.
Yeah, really Indian.
lineage. You've had, you know, some of those traditions, or maybe he even might have been connected in that line. This man, you know. And then the other thing that's coming to mind, and Gabby, you can also say if there's something coming forward for you, and Bridget, I'm coming to you before you go off the end of that very far away ancestral line, but it feels like, okay, this ancestral field that you have been living in is quite stuck. You know, the family is quite stuck and it needs some movement, and that's also possibly why you are moving, because the whole line will be affected by the move, and it will rejuvenate itself. It will sort of be, yeah, like a regenesis process, like a cleaning, enlivening process of coming to South Africa. And it feels like as Bridget's there in the background, that the singing into this depth of field where some are really quite lost, quite colorless, quite sort of dead almost, you know, they need some work. So if I was to work with that field there where Bridget is, it would be, you know, singing some of these beings into motion, really. That would be part of what you have started. You've started that, so the remembering and the movement, allowing this whole stuck place, maybe a number of generations of stuckness, to start moving on, something like that. I don't know about the rest of you. I don't know, Gabby, if you want to comment at all, or Bridget, if you want to say anything more about being at the back there. Oh, I can't hear you, Bridget. Sorry. You'll have to come a bit closer.
I could really feel the need to sing too, and when I was having that sense of sound, I did make a little bit of sound, but there is right, it's like it's been cut in half. You have an upper half and a lower half, and I have this feeling like you, Nancy, you sing towards the ancestors, and the ancestors will sing to you. They will hear you. They will reply. And in that communication of sound, because I actually wanted to do it with you right now, to make the first movement in there and invite you, because it feels like really essential. It is like beyond words.
Does feel very important. Yeah. It feels like, our job as these kind of seeds of light or seeds of the future is to move groups of people that are sort of stuck a bit, move them on, create some movement here. And so, as what I have noticed over the years and years, I've been doing this for more than 15 years, is that one person can move a whole ancestral field and start to get it like awake, and it can start to rejuvenate and reprogram itself. It's the most amazing work. Huge tracts of people, can be affected by the work. And already they want to be spoken to, they want to be told what's going on, what do they need to do, this kind of thing. So it does feel like 3 or 4, maybe even more generations are ready to move with you.
It's going further than 3 or 4 generations.
Is it?
It is moving. If she sings into that and it starts to ripple, it will ripple like through all that has been, all that was to be but didn't become, and all that is to be.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of things, tough, like suffering times and cutting off of the spontaneity and suppression of women, like generations of suffering and loss of expression. So yeah, let's start off with a little bit of something. Let's introduce Nancy, if she's prepared to just start with a little bit of vocal work into the space. I'd love that. Would you be open to that, Nancy?
I don't know how.
Oh, well,
it's
Bridget
not
will help you.
I think, yeah, that would be very helpful. If Bridget, I'm so fascinating about her work. It's amazing. So I'll just ask you just one moment to make a little bit room.
Sure.
So I'm sorry, I'm just sending my husband away.
That's all right.
So greetings from Mike. He's doing a lot of nice stuff about here, but I think, okay, we need space. So yeah, I can try. I can't sing really, but Bridget,
and maybe
can you help?
I know,
yeah.
Gabby, you also there, right?
Yes, I'm here. I'll try and switch it on again and see if we can.
Okay.
Yeah, great. I love to see your face, Gabby. So it's more connected now. Thank you. Yes.
So, Bridget, maybe you can explain to us what we can do, just as a small movement, just to begin using the voice to sort of move the space, or begin just introducing yourself.
Okay, so in fact, It's very, very simple to start with, because you have the sound ah inside, and which height the sound is required right now. And you sing that sound ah or whatever, and it doesn't have to be beautiful. It can also be ah, it doesn't matter. But you just sing it towards me, representing the ancestry, and see, and I will feel if I can reply. But it has to be between her and me to start, and you can feel whether there is a moment that you feel that more sound or a background sound or a more complete ancestral field in sound is necessary, and then you can tune in. If you feel moved to tune in, you just sing your ah at your own required height or strength. That's up to you. You can feel into that. Do you think that will work for you, Nancy?
Yeah, I'm looking for how to start.
Yeah,
And it feels for me like there's more needed.
yeah,
This is not what I can do this not on my own. I feel it like it's there's a big, I feel a big family waiting.
Well,
Very, very big, and all the way to many, I think more than 1,000 years ago. That feels like, so I'm feeling overwhelmed to start singing, and I think, oh God, there's a whole public over there.
image. I have this image, Nancy. It's like you're standing out there all alone in a big
Yeah.
field of snow, and you take the first step in the snow, and that is your ah.
It's okay. Yeah, I don't feel there's something with the ah. I feel like needed to mum. Yeah.
Like it is?
What?
You feel like it is what?
More mumming. Instead of ah.
You take
Yeah.
that sound. It's just
Yeah.
what you started.
Yeah.
So follow your own sound, okay?
Yeah. There's something to do with
Mhm.
mumming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful so far. My God, it was totally like in the forest. It was like moving into the forest with, and it was like all the ancestors. I could just feel them like turning around and looking. It was so moving. Just that little bit of gentle, sensitive sounding was so beautiful. So I don't know if you've got the strength to do another moment of it. You don't have to. It might be enough for today.
Yeah, it's okay. I would love to ask you for help. I feel it feels for me they're loving. They're now standing. Okay, come. So I can do another one, and instead of the ah, go for the hum. So if you want to join, please do.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. I just, there's something popping up the air. Yeah, flew. It flew. It was great. Yeah.
What happened? Something, what do you mean something flew? Like
It flew. It felt like going up in the sky. So it's now all over. Yeah.
What is?
And the energy is really a pure love energy.
Okay, wonderful.
Like a blanket. It felt for me, it's coming into the sky, and it felt like a warm blanket all over. Yeah. It's just the right tone. I'll try sometimes to find it, and again, it's one tone, and I think, yeah, that's one. Funny. It's really funny. Yeah.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to just begin to close off our piece of work for today. But before we close, is anything else that wants to be said from the field? I know, Gabby, you've been just holding a space for us. Is there anything that you would like to say, just as a witness of this process, reflecting, anything interesting about it or touching, anything at all?
The one thing I did see was like an image of a diagram with lines going all over the place. So I think that goes back to there's many people or many souls or many energies involved, and they were going in all like directions. So that matches what you've been going through. And I've noticed like Nancy, for me, it looks like Nancy actually got like it's kind of lightened you up a bit, didn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Gabby. Awesome. Anybody else got any sort of thing that they want to empty from the constellation into the field before we close, take off our roles and stuff like that? Bridget, how are you doing? Gail, I can't hear you, love. Why don't you just wait for Bridget 1 sec? The mute is on.
All I do feel this resolving of pain and a lot of gratefulness in my heart. I can really truly feel the connection and the movement. So Nancy, thank you for doing the work. Thank you so much for doing the work.
Beautiful. Thanks, Bridget. Thank you. Gail, anything that you want to say from left over from the roles, or anything that's left over to say?
Not a lot, just that Bridget will be given the information she wants.
You mean Nancy? Nancy.
Sorry, yeah, Nancy, I meant. She'll be given signs and signals and information, and a book will come to you or an article to kind of get you started on who the being is that you need to work most closely with.
Yeah, I also feel that there's a synchronicity that's already, you know, it's just like, just follow, you'll be guided. Anything from you, Nancy, that you'd like to say?
Keep it simple. Thank you. Just wonderful. Thank you. Gail, Bridget, Gabby also, Amanda. Wow, thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Pio, for being me and being the one who asks me things. It's wow, you did amazing jobs. Really, it was really amazing how you truly connected and could tell, could feel what you are feeling or noticed. It's wow, it's unbelievable. I do this work in real life, and it's fascinating and overwhelming how much energy and how much you connected through a screen. It's we are far away from each other, okay, Bridget and me, and that's far, but it doesn't matter. I felt your energy, so wonderful. Thank you for opening up and your trust.
Yeah, beautiful. So let's just de-roll everybody so that you are out of your role and not carrying that ancestral line. So Bridget, if you can just say, I am no longer you, and I am no longer any of your ancestors or the energy behind you, anything of that I play, I hand that back.
Nancy, I am no longer you. I am no longer of your ancestry. I am giving that back to you. I am now Bridget. I am now Bridget. I am now Bridget.
Okay, thank you. All right, Gail, you're on mute still. If you can just de-roll yourself and just say, I am not the thing that you've been asked to do. I am Gail.
Okay, Nancy, I'm no longer the thing or messenger of what you have been asked to do. I am Gail.
Okay, all right. And Gabby, you didn't have a role, so I think that is clear. So what I want to do is let's just rub our hands together like this. Just rub our hands together, just pat the body like this, just letting yourself kind of come back into this moment. And we're going to just clap 3 times to release the ancestral gateways, so that they know that is over. So let's just clap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so they can go. Thank you for being with us and leaning in and listening to do the work. I just want to quickly do a cleaning of our own auric space and field before we close off, and then we can just chat a little bit technically before we end the call. So just closing your eyes for a moment. We're going to just drop into Middle Earth, down a very sacred portal. And there we are going to meet on a beach. And there we are going to be met by some dolphin friends. And they're going to take us for a little swim. So put on your bikinis. Jump into the water and let these dolphins guide you. They're going to take us to a magical waterfall. So just landing at the waterfall, just finding yourself close by or nearby this beautiful cleansing waterfall, and just finding a comfortable place to stand where you can feel the water just running over the ball of light, the soul that you are. Just cleansing the ball of light with this wonderful, cleaning, cosmic, celestial rejuvenation water. And just as it runs over this ball of light that you are, just feel it affecting and washing off the layers of dross and the old and the past off your body as well. Your body's getting a beautiful, deep cleanse, energetic cleanse. And then just look around and see if there's anybody around you, maybe from the ancestral field, that wants to jump in this ancestral cleaning waterfall. They can come and join for a quick cleanse after the work. And as they come into this beautiful cleansing waterfall, the ball of light that they are, there's all sorts of laughter, joy, and giggling. It's very funny to be a ball of light under a waterfall. Just a lot of happiness as the rejuvenation starts to come in. And they can also, you know, all these beings that are being affected by the work that we do, they can also make new choices. They don't have to go back to where they were. You know, they can move on to other places and spaces in the grid inside of themselves, new attitudes. That can be like a reshuffle. And maybe it's also a sound waterfall that we can bathe ourselves under, sound waterfall. We can stand there and feel those vibrations healing any part of us, or moving any part of us, or rejuvenating, like reorganizing the DNA. Through our perceptions, through our sound. Really dismantling the old. And opening us up into the infinite self that we really are. We're going to jump from this waterfall. We're going to go through a quick portal to the galactic center. Just going to do a quick check in there just to make sure we don't have any instructions that we've missed. Let's just jump through the waterfall to galactic center, galactic headquarters. And they greet us, the ultraviolets. They give us our fantastic light bodysuits. And there we walk around a little bit, just meeting people, who it is that we need to meet. Receiving instructions, messages, tasks. If there's anything that needs doing, med beds are there. You can all jump in to a quick med bed. different kinds of med beds. There's plasmatic ones, and there's ultraviolet blue light med beds, and there's sound med beds. And just while you're taking a moment, rejuvenating yourself and your body. Just see if there's anything that you want to send down back to your home where you live, like an extra special upgrade of some sort into your living space. Okay, so we're getting ready to say goodbye there to that little headquarters. So we bow our heads and we leave, come back to our homes, through the waterfall, back through the beach, through the portal, back home. And just feeling our feet on the ground. Feeling our bums on the chair. And just gently opening our eyes. And just rubbing your hands again like this. Your arms, just zip up a nice egg around you, close off your space completely. Just make sure you have just only you and what you want in your space. Okay. All right, so just thinking if there's anything left to say or do now. Are there any closing comments? So I think just give yourself space, because there'll be a bit of integration and sort of, you know, as you do this work, a piece of consciousness in a way gets activated and awakened, and so there's like a little bit of an adjustment on the grid. So you'll feel like things are in motion a little bit around you. So just pay attention to that, and if it feels like a nice salt bath, or a little bit of journaling or drawing is helpful. If there's still messages coming through, for example, in the next couple of days, just keep track of them. And, you know, normally we would close with a little bit of like a universalizing of this experience. Which is really just to say how each of this experience is going on for us in our own lives, in what way to kind of ground this experience. So maybe we can just do a little round of talking about how maybe we can take the energy of this into our own space. if we are back yet. It's just, I know we all kind of traveling still a little bit. Still arriving back. Just getting back into our chairs, into our space. Does anyone want to say what they saw in the galactic center or what it was like under the waterfall?
I was just visualizing it. I was really swimming. Oh, it was wonderful with a cave and great waterfall and a lot of fun. I see many ancestors and they're all a little bit curious. Oh, can we play here? This was a funny movie also. It was really lovely. So I felt like I can, for now, I can ask my ancestors if I need them. I know they are on the background for the goods, for good things for me. It felt before this whole session, it felt, okay, there's something in my back and I don't know if it's right. Who are my ancestors? And I know there are some bad things happened a long way ago. So I was not sure are they the good ones. And now I know. So
you've got a definite connection through the great-grandfather lineage.
Yeah. So they also were on the waterfall and playing
that's
with
nice.
water. So I have 3 people now who can ask. So I know they are there.
They're on your team.
Yeah, they're on my team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else want to share anything before we close?
Before I didn't really have an ancestral connection with my father's side. And when we went to the galactic place, my grandfather was there.
Wow.
In the light of the Saint-Germain flame.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was so good to meet him and to find ourselves in that same violet energy of the violet flame of Saint-Germain.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's the first time I have met him in this since he died a long time ago.
Wow.
So going to happen for me too.
That's beautiful. So he's up there in the galactic center.
Yeah.
Wow. How magnificent. Gabby, anything about the waterfall experience for you?
Yeah, there was just this, I don't know if it's a child or a grown-up in a red bathing costume, always trying to run towards the water, but not getting there. So I keep on seeing this red costume with, I think it's a woman running towards the waterfall.
And she didn't get there?
No, she didn't get there, and I couldn't see who it was or anything. It was too small.
That's okay. At least you could see her in the red bathing suit on the beach. And we'll get her there. We'll get her there. Maybe she's scared of the water.
She was running towards it. It was just like she was running eternally, never like you're on a bicycle, on trampling.
That's all right. At least she's there and we see her. We'll help her.
And then I saw all the lights, like golden globes sort of going up the waterfall.
Oh, beautiful.
That's very nice. Yes.
Gorgeous. Good. Very good. Okay. Anybody else? Gail?
Yeah, I actually had a very fun experience at the waterfall with my mother, her mother, and her mother. So, and then the outcast was my grandmother on my father's side. And we were all like 18 to 20 years old again, frolicking, and peace was made with both sides of the family, and it was just great.
Yeah, interesting to bring the outcasts into the waterfall, right, and into that healing space. So that will be part of what happens. Okay, gorgeous. Okay, lovelies, beautifuls, magicians, alchemists, everybody, magical star beings. We're going to close today. Thank you so much for your time and effort to sort of open, in a way, it's like an opening of the course. So yeah, I'll let you know if there's going to be another intro, and I will send you details about the dates, and you can all just keep me posted via Telegram if possible. So my Telegram handle is @Amanda Gifford, and otherwise it's theinnovationplayground@gmail.com. You can talk to me on email as well. Okay, so we'll be in touch.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Amanda.
Such a pleasure.
Thank
such
you.
a pleasure.
Yes,
Beautiful to
and
have
thank you all.
We-
And
So much love.
bye-bye. Have a
Bye.
nice weekend.
Bye, everybody.
It's
Bye.
lovely to meet everybody.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Okay, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.